questions.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
One guy was in his PJs. So it's crazy, dude. So anyway, it's embarrassing. So he says, you know, I could think straight. So me and blank, my supervisor, Shannon,
right,
we're just helping people. Well, we call him Patton because I can't see him helping anybody. Right.
He's like this.
So me and Patton, my supervisor, Shannon Alsbury, we're just helping people.
Right.
Security was helping.
No, what they were really doing was getting in the way. That's what happens in these scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You got how many police was up there?
Oh my gosh! Well,
okay,
there's all kinds of people up there.
Yeah, and then someone was not in charge of taking those two guys to question them somewhere.
Right.
Okay, they shouldn't have been helping. They should have been being questioned.
Right.
Something's not right again.
So security was helping the officers go into the rooms. We had given them keys. I still had my keys on me. Hold on a second, dude. All right. So anyway, they didn't need mine, is what he says. Okay.
Okay.
They had blank master, which is blacked out. The last word is S, so I'm assuming it's Jesus, but I don't know. Master keys set because he's the manager. So it must have been Shannon's, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
yeah,
they had Shannon's master keys,
right?
Because he's the manager. And eventually, around what time was it? He's asking himself. About 11:20 or something, I think. I stayed up there assisting police and SWAT and the guest until almost it was 12 midnight.
Which way? The back wing's up here, front wing clear. It's not far as it was from us last week. These elevators are back on, you guys know.
Are we clearing all rooms? Sarge?
We're rechecking every room. We checked them once under stress, we need to recheck them.
We checked all this.
Let's try and do all of them. I know it's a lot, but let's try and do all of them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
This way. All right.
We got
down this way, so yeah, we also need to make sure no air rounds went in somewhere.
Yeah, the rounds that I could see were coming from below up into the light.
Yeah, he was prone out. He had cameras facing down his phone. So if he could see you guys when you came, that's probably why he started shooting. Did he shoot at you? You saw
it.
It
was the very
security.
first unit here. He had not fired at us. No.
He must have. But you guys were still hearing the shots fired, right?
Yeah, when we got here, you could see the gunshots coming out the window. So that's when we made entry here and then set up on the hallway and then security here. Hey, where was our CD at? We'll figure it out. You coming with?
Yep.
You guys coming with?
Absolutely, yeah.
Is Route 91 close here?
No, it's across the street.
Across the street.
That big open because he was firing at that.
You guys done with this all?
No, we're just starting.
Okay.
So we need to check this one out now?
Are we evacuating all of it?
Yeah, I think they just want to check, yeah.
Okay, so we'll shut this whole floor down.
Yeah. What we need, this one's evacuated?
Okay, so we'll go down.
We're just gonna do it. Okay, so what we need to do is get a key and knock, because these people are probably shitting their pants.
Okay. You have a master key we can use on this hall? We'll go through.
This hall's already done, right?
No.
That hall is done.
This hall's done.
This hall was
This
done.
one is
earlier.
not.
Okay.
This one is not.
This one is not, okay, so we got a key.
Yeah, so you wanna do the upper first? Okay.
So he is part of Sottle's security team now. He's not just fixing plumbing, and he's only been there since May.
Well,
Okay.
I'm worried that the leak up in 62 is still leaking. I mean, what about the leak?
This is a new employee.
It's a new employee. He hadn't even been there 6 months.
He talks like Patton.
It's tough. So he says, this is good. So he says that 0 hours.
I told it, dude. I can't be wrong in a lot of this stuff. Okay, I just said he's talking like Patton, and he's using military time. I can't. I mean, dude. I'm telling. Hey,
what's the guy's
you know
back-
what?
Guy's
Hang on a
background.
second, right here. I need a promotion. Okay, I've been too good with this. I'm keeping my card right there for you. Okay.
Who speaks in 0 hours? I mean, I'm a military guy. I don't even speak 0 hours.
Well, this is hey, he uses the word volley. He uses 0 hours. It's always we, you know. He's only been doing this since May at this location, and so he doesn't know the area very well. It's only been a few months anyway. So anyway, go ahead, man. This is making me sick. Hold on a second. All right.
Get out of me! Get out of me!
Get out of me! All right.
So
All
Lucky,
right.
Lucky Shuck says 0 hours. That time blank said, you know, I don't know who he's referring to. Go down, put your tools away. Well, he doesn't
Tool.
have any tools.
Whatever happened to the drill?
It's in his pocket.
The drill? I'm thinking of a handheld drill.
No,
like this.
no. He said he had a little hand drill, you know, with bits.
Oh.
It's in his supposedly in his pocket.
Okay. I'm thinking a drill, like a DeWalt or something.
Well,
Zzz, 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 you know.
that was similar drill to what you're speaking of was found in the room.
Ouch. You know what? It's been so long. And for people that don't realize this, now, Bruce, he knows all this information. My role is to not know it and then ask these questions and bring this stuff up, being an observer that really doesn't know much about it. And so in this case, this really blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Well, it's an easy job for you. I will tell you though, once we get into the rooms with the evidence,
Right.
it'll be really fun. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, because
That's crazy.
what's interesting is what was found in the room, where it was found. It'll clarify some of the possible actions.
You've brought up two things this morning that I want more. Okay. The drill that you just brought up, and then what was the other one that there was something else you brought up earlier, and I want more. I want to know more.
You know what's funny is every time I go to the bar, most of the women are like, "Hey, I want more."
Yeah, but you can't. You can't. All right, remember
I
that.
want more, Bruce.
Yeah.
0 hours.
Okay.
Shannon Alsbury says, "Go down and put your tools away."
Okay.
What's going on down there? If you can get out of here That's it. He says, so put your tools away. So he says, I put my tools away on 10, which is floor 10, I'm assuming. Well, dude didn't have any tools.
He just had supposedly a drill.
If he had a cart, then his cart's still on 62 because he said earlier in his sworn statement, all he did was bring a little drill down with a couple bits.
Right.
But anyway, he says, I put my tools away. Okay. I don't know what tools. On the 10th floor around.
Yeah, because he supposedly was doing plumbing up on the 60th, and he didn't bring anything down with him.
Right.
Okay, so I was just recapping that. Go ahead.
He was actually on. Let's just keep track here because this guy is spooky. He was actually on floor 62. Oh man,
he was at the end, wasn't he?
What's that?
Wasn't he on floor 62 at the very end?
62 215.
215. Yeah.
I think that's where it was.
Okay.
Let me just double check here real quick. 62 215.
All right.
He was checking a leak.
All right.
Okay.
With a drill.
I guess.
Who knows?
This guy.
Okay, so he drops his stuff off on the 10th floor.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my place now. 12 midnight, 00 hours. So put my tools away on the 10th floor.
Right.
And he clarifies on the 10th floor around the center core. I don't know what's there. I don't know what's there. So it's 10th floor around the center core. I went down to the basement, and then blank called me, and I don't know who that is, and said, my tools are on 32. Is there any way you can get them? Now, whose tools are on 32? I didn't see any tool cart in 32. 100, no. 300, 200.
There was a cart.
There are two carts and like tools.
It looked like a food cart, though, that no one's has seen.
There's two actual carts. All right. There's if you look at the pictures, there's a cart outside of 134, right?
Right. That no one's seen.
Right. And there's a cart immediately inside of 134.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's two carts.
Show that video.
You want more?
I do. I want it. I want it.
So anyway, this guy says my tools are on 32. So I'm assuming this is the third engineer that maybe he rode up the elevator with and back and forth. Well, I don't get it. But he says my tools are on 32. Is there any way you can get them? And I was like, Shuck says, I don't think it's a good idea for me to go back up there. Okay. So this guy he's referring to, he says he was on the beach level out front where the officers had set up on the east side of the building outside of valet. All right. Another engineer with no tools, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen, where's his tools at? Right? I mean.
Right. Yeah.
So the detective says, mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Shuck says, and he was assisting them. So he's saying that this other engineer was assisting those guys out in the valet area with the cops and all that.
Right.
Giving them the elevators. We turned, says, I didn't turn the elevators back on. I think our graveyard supervisor did. So Metro could use those elevators to get to each floor. So I went out there and we kind of just waited. We were on lockdown. Every time officers had a question, directions, we're engineers, or we're engineering, so we kind of know where everything's at.
Of course you do.
Yeah. We're just directing them.
You're hidden in plain sight.
Right. I can hear you tapping, by the way. It's going to screw up my video editing. I'm just going to tell you. Yeah. It's already long enough for me to do. I just, jeez.
Oh, shoot.
So we're just directing them. We'd walk them to the elevators. Now, we've seen a lot of video of cops going to these elevators.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Shuck walk anybody to any elevators.
I haven't even seen Shuck.
Which different core elevators went up to the different floors, and that was it. We were on lockdown till about 5 a.m. They let us into the manager's office, and we stayed there until about 7 a.m., and then they let us go. But yeah, I found it. One thing that really stuck out to me was he was shooting, and so he's going back, right? So one thing that really stuck out to me is that he was shooting outside and heard those rounds, and it was just seconds before he started shooting down the hallway. It was like almost no time to think, and I blacked out, but the last letter's S. Jesus saved my life. We have to get this in there because this is the whole storyline. Jesus saved my life. He yelled at me, get cover. I'm not saying that Jesus didn't tell him to get cover, but it is suspicious, or my gut tells me he said get cover because they were both in the room. He didn't say get cover because they were in the hallway getting shot at. So, it's interesting if you don't place Shuck and Campos in the location they're telling us they were at,
right?
But you place them in the location that makes sense to what they're saying,
right?
They're not in the same spot.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So anyway, and so that's when. So he saved my life, told me to get cover, and that's when I got cover, and that's when the volley started coming.
Now he's adding all this without one question from the police. Okay,
right.
This is voluntarily rambling.
Yep.
All right, and I'm just saying this because when you're in a position like that and someone says, what did you do or what happened up there, you really just go over the whole basic stuff from start to finish within about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, well, let's start from the beginning here. Okay, so you went from here to where, and then then what did you do? Mm-hmm. Then what did you do? That has never even took place in any of these.
Mm-mm. No.
This guy is actually doing a timeline without even being told.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
trying to do a detailed timeline.
Right.
to cover his bases without even being told.
Right. Yeah.
It's strange, man. I'm telling you, it's just not right.
He's trying to get it out before he forgets it.
Right.
So he says, so after volleys, he says, get cover. Jesus saved my life because he said, hey, get cover. And that's when I got cover, and that's when the volley started coming. Okay. Well, what's interesting is if you compare the sheets, Jesus had already been shot. So if you assume that Jesus had already been shot down the hallway,
right,
and that's the reason why he told Shuck to get cover, and then another volley came down, right?
Right.
Then Shuck's telling us a third volley.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to earlier.
Yeah.
A third one is
third one,
and that no one's mentioned.
No. Okay, so he says get cover, and that's when I got cover, and that's when the volley came. He was full auto in the hallway. So, I mean, I own a couple firearms and CCW carrier. So I kind of know, it's reloading. It's not like in the movies. He just, I don't know. He moved so fast to that doorway and started shooting down the hallway. Yeah, the dude's moving pretty freaking fast for a 64-year-old man.
To go from the window to the door, back and forth, with no help.
No, and actually what's fascinating, man, is when we get into the shots being fired, there's a list in the final report. So this is funny.
God.
All right. I mean, I hate
this. Is so messed up, man.
107, 108.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, hold on. You got to hold on in there. Hold on.
I don't want to hold on.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on.
I want more.
Oh, here we go. So this is what's interesting, man. Think about this. 64-year-old man. We're told that he did everything, right?
Right. Everything.
And we're told that, according to Shuck, that the dude was firing out the window, turns around, fires out the door, like three bullets. Firing out of 134, although the door was locked. I mean, it's Superman, actually. Okay.
Right. He's done this. Now this is what you're about ready to say is good stuff, because think of that. Okay. 64-year-old guy shooting out side of 135, comes to the door, shoots out of it, shoots out of 134, comes to the door, comes out of 135, la 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 la.
Yep.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Really?
Even better. Out of all the guns fired, this is just out of the report, okay?
This is the actual investigative report from the sheriff's department.
Right.
Okay. What does it say?
And I know this isn't part of Shuck, right? But the reality is, Paddock
it all goes together.
Was Superman, all right? Or a super criminal, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
right?
He had to be.
He had to have been a super criminal, and he had to have been in shape. I mean, the dude must have worked out every day, right?
Right.
Because he used, according to the file, right? He actually used 14 different automatic weapons. A couple shotguns. Not shotguns, but he used. Well, let's just look at this. A couple.
So this is you're talking. He used. That means he fired them.
They were fired. I can't say he fired them, but they were fired.
But they were fired.
Right.
Okay, that's what I want to get to.
Rounds and the weapons. The forensics analysis said that 14 out of room 134 and 135, 1,057 shell casings were found. The forensic analysis was completed, and all of the shell casings that were recovered, forensics analysis was completed on all of the shell casings that were recovered. Of the rifles recovered from inside of 135 and 134, 14 were found to have been fired.
Wow.
The following table indicates which guns were fired and how many times. So I took this list, and you can see it on the final report on page 107, 106 and 107. And what I did, though, was I looked at, I know that we're coming off topic here, but I went back to where they actually found the guns, and they went in, CSI went in and actually numbered the guns, right? They put the yellow numbers on it.
Yeah.
So I know which ones, according to that. I mean, it's like elementary analysis. I just took that and I overlaid it with the shots or the guns they said were fired.
Right.
And what room they were in. So what this says is in room 134, there were 3 guns.
Okay.
1 shot twice. 1 shot 6 times, which those 2 are probably rifles, right?
Right.
They found 8 shell casings in 134.
Okay.
But another one was shot 144 rounds. 134. Doors locked.
Right. And there's no now. They at one time they said there was a interlocking door.
Yeah, it's locked.
And it's locked
from the 134 room
to 135.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Paddock's in 135.
Right.
135. Superhero Paddock shoots 12 rounds. I'm just going to list them as I got them here.
Yeah.
Now, each one of these comes from a different weapon. It's not the same. It's not reloading, right? It's like
you're just grabbing one.
Let's say you have a whole laundry list,
right?
He picks them up and he shoots, and he picks it up and he shoots. So whenever we're hearing people say he reloaded, he probably didn't reload. I mean, hell,
yeah, he just picked another one up.
Yeah, he picked one up, shot it 12 times. Picked another one up, shot it
12 rounds or 12 rounds. Times? Okay. 12 rounds.
Picked another one up, and these are all different weapons, different manufacturers. I mean, picks up another one, shoots 100 rounds. Picks up another one, shoots 100 rounds. Picks up another one, shoots 100 rounds.
Jeez.
Picks up another one, shoots 21 rounds. Picks up another one, shoots 96 rounds. And these are full automatic. Picks up another one, shoots 33 rounds. Picks up another one, shoots 95 rounds. Picks up another one, shoots 153 rounds. Picks up another one, shoots 95 rounds. And then picks up another one and shoots 100 rounds.
This dude, he has to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean,
has anybody done that before? Seriously.
Hey, by the way,
100 round weapon.
Yeah.
What kind of weapon are we talking about? Magazines are usually about 30 rounds, right?
I don't know, man. These guys, I mean, he may have changed out the magazines, but he shot rounds out of these, and they actually have them listed as that many rounds came out of that out of that weapon.
Wow. And if you shoot, that is a lot of rounds, man.
Well, his hands would be numb, man. You know.
Yeah.
He'd have a bruise. What is interesting is when you get into the forensics of Paddock.
Yeah.
He had bruises on his calves. He didn't have a bruise on his shoulder. And if you got that, you know as well as I do, you'd have especially if it was a bump stock, boom, boom, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I mean, your hands would be numb, whatever. It's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, superhero there.
Wow.
So anyway, we get down with it. It's shooting down the hallway. We're finishing up here. So now it's the cop's turn, right? So Shuck finishes this by saying he must have been reloading. It's not like in the movies. You know, I know because I have firearms and blah, 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 blah. And he's got concealed carry, CCW.
Yep. Right.
Interesting. Like to know what guns he's registered.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he's a legal concealed carry guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, so JP, the detective, now has his opportunity to shine.
Yes.
It's not Hodgson.
It's not.
This guy's last name is Patton. Believe it or
Right. It's not the same guy. This guy's last name, this detective's last name is Patton.
not. Right.
Which we can't make that up.
No, we can't make that up. It's just surreal.
We could not even make that up, dude.
So anyway, this guy says, so I'm going to go back to the beginning. That's good.
Okay.
Now, you're not reading this, are you? You don't have it in front of you.
No,
You're just
this is
taking
six.
notes.
This is 6 days later. Yeah, I'm just taking notes because this is the first time I've heard it.
Yeah. So the cop, the detective, not the cop, the detective, with two
Right.
FBI agents in the room and an attorney. The detective says, so I'm going to go back to the beginning. Okay. And we're not going to cover every detail again because you've done a great job up to this point.
Oh, wow. You've got to be kidding me.
I just have a couple clarifying questions of stuff.
I think I know which one. The very first question. Follow me here. What type of wallpaper was in the hallway of the 32nd floor? I mean, this is the kind of questions these guys are answering. Hey, and they got a beef with this. Come on, man. Because, all right, the next question is, was it a Motorola or was it a DeWalt drill, or was it a off-brand? I mean, something off the wall. Go ahead, man.
Are you done making fun of the detective? Detective. Yeah.
No, I'm not done yet, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So he says, I just have a couple clarifying questions.
Sure, go ahead.
And he says, this one's going to be a real simple one.
There is nothing simple, dude. What time were you supposed to get off work? No, go ahead.
He says, I forgot to ask you.
You haven't asked him anything.
He says, I forgot to ask you this in the beginning. What were you wearing that night?
Boom! I'm telling you! Boom! Right here. Promotion. Promotion.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!